Hi, John Lay here from Town to Learning with another hot take review. Today's hot take is on Administrate. Administrate is a training resource management system, maybe. I'm not quite sure what it is. It's in a category all by itself in what it does, or in a very small handful of organizations that can do what Administrate does and tries to do with their solution. They are not an LMS. Organizations will typically have an LMS, and then they augment with Administrate. And Administrate focuses on, most LMSs focus on e-learning. Now, because of the pandemic, most LMSs can launch and track a virtual classroom course and even have a two-way integration with it. And because of that, most can schedule a live class, and maybe you put an instructor or have a basic wait list. So those type of things are available in a lot of LMSs, but it stops there. If you are, for example, a big software company, I don't know, like Dell perhaps, and you've got a sales force of 60,000 people, you've got 10,000 trainers, you got 400 administrators that are running a sales program, and you have to put these 60,000 people through a program because you have a new product, you made a new acquisition, you did something, and that training planner could have lots of instructor-led components, and an instructor-led component might carry out over 3 or 4 days or 3 or 4 weeks, and it might need virtual labs. It might need multiple instructors, qualified instructors, might need rooms. And so all those different things are into the factor. And what Administrate does is they go in, they get a new client. They're typically big, large organizations that have massive ILT programs that aren't going away. They get all the data into one spot. So corporate calendars, whether this conference room is booked or not, where that's being booked, all the information about the learner, different systems. They bring all that into Administrate up front in a fairly inexpensive implementation process, and then have all the pieces to take that scenario with those 60,000 running 60,000 students, and they could say, all right, we want to run this program. Tell me how. And so the scheduler will basically look at all these different factors, all these different courses, and the different sessions, and what are the requirements, and all the resources that might be needed, and it creates a plan for you in just a couple minutes on how to schedule this whole thing, and then it's live, and you basically are booking it, and manages all the text and notifications and getting the learners into the system, or even delivering it through the LMS if they want, and it just lays out a plan, and that plan is using AI to optimize different things depending on client needs. So maybe some clients want to optimize instructor utilization, so it can be trained to do exactly that. In other ones, it wants to spread the training out perhaps over a 12-month period, and it wants to spread it very evenly, and so the AI will then learn how to schedule like that and make it evenly. And when you have your end result of this plan, then you can mess with the plan a little bit by dragging this here or there, and things dynamically change where they won't let you drag there because that instructor won't be open. So you can fiddle with it, including things like days off and holidays. And it's really interesting on how they did it. It's kind of not very glamorous. Oh, we're managing ILT, but there's a lot of time and effort and money in these big companies that are still in ILT, and it tends to be a save. So what Administrate does is it comes and it gets your ILT organized, standardized, automated. They have an engine that is for developers, a developer area that you can get to the API in GraphQL. And it's just awesome. I mean, everything, they built their application on this API, and they use this API for every piece of their application. And so they give that API to their customers, who typically have developers in these big companies, and they can hook anything they want together using the API. And so they're creating these magnificent headless learning systems that are pulling in data, pushing in data, in and out of the learning management system through this developer interface where you can write the scripts and test them and use the other scripts. So some companies provide, all companies provide an API. This isn't providing an API, this is providing a whole developer's kit. It is impressive. I learned more in that part of the presentation that I've learned about how it actually works on APIs, actually seeing the code and understanding what's happening. It was kind of amazing. So that's what a good example you could do with that is one of their clients has factory settings and then their restricted areas and the door locks, so they use the thing to pull out. If a learner is certified, then it can open up that door lock. And so just two systems that would never be integrated, would typically need some type of custom integration with something they did in a couple minutes of just tying these two systems together. And so they provide the bridge, that middleware, I guess, to hook all these systems together in a way that no other LMS does. So Administrate, they are out of Scotland. They've got about 100 people. They're securing rounds of funding. They're growing by leaps and bounds. They opened up offices in Montana and Dublin and continue to expand globally, and is a company to watch here in the learning space as they've invented a new mousetrap, or a better mousetrap, and are using that to make the world of ILT an easier and more streamlined and efficient, and hence a more profitable space. So there you have it. There's my hot take on Administrate. You can find more of our fiercely independent content at talentedlearning.com.